to the Parenting versus podcast. We haven't opened beers in a while. On our podcast.
So we're drinking. It's Sunday Fun Day. Kids are with the grandparents, and we are at our location for the Borellis Podcasters Guild, which is downtown in Borellis, Albuquerque. We have our little space.
B Rupee.
The B Rupee drugstore. It's a historic spot. You can check it out. There's a lot of history in Borellis. I think we've mentioned this before, but we thought we'd come and try to utilize the space here and see about sound quality. We haven't soundproofed the room yet, so we're kind of just testing out some acoustics and seeing how it sounds.
Well,
having a beer.
Any sort of acoustics on our podcast that's not our backyard with kids screaming
is an improvement.
Yeah.
I'm going to open this door because it's hot.
Okay. All right. So
We made it. There's beer.
There's beer.
First purchase for the space was a mini bar cart, which is important. This is going to be the home to a few podcasts, and people are going to be able to book this little studio to record their own. So that's the plan.
So the vision, what is it? It's just recording podcasts within the community, amplifying community voices, and kind of educating maybe businesses who might not be aware of the possible marketing tool that podcasts are as a growing industry. Nobody listens to the radio anymore. I mean, I guess people do.
Radio is dead.
I think, radio is not dead in certain demographics, I guess, but it's boring. It's boring talking about like who listens to the radio, but I know I don't. I don't know when the last time I tuned into like a radio station.
I don't either.
Like,
it's like if my podcast, like if I don't have Wi-Fi or like my Bluetooth is broken. Or
if your phone battery dies, like, okay, I guess I'll listen to the radio.
Yeah. So we're sitting here drinking, I'm drinking a local beer. I'm having a milk mustachio stout by Tractor Brewing. And the beauty about this is that the power is out in the building right now. Thankfully, stouts don't have to be drunk. I don't know. Cold all the time. You know, it's the same kind of palate as a coffee. So the milk stout has a little bit of a coffee taste, and it's pretty delicious even warm. So I'm happy with it. It's cool.
The milk, what is it called? Milk
mustachio.
The mustachio.
Milk mustachio stout by Tractor Brewing. Delicious stuff.
Yeah, I'm not drinking a local beer, at least not local for me right now.
You're drinking one of my favorite beers, though.
I'm drinking hazelnut brown nectar from Rogue. So, Ryan, I don't think you listen to this podcast anymore. Right, Ryan, your brother, but...
Thanks for the beer, bro.
Thanks for the beer, brother-in-law.
We have podcast guild meetings every Wednesday, and he's been coming to this space to just kind of open it up for people to show them and have meetings, and then everybody who can't come here can join via Zoom or whatever, but he's been bringing beer. So we have a nice little stash going, and it's here when we want it, which is nice. You can come, have a drink, record your podcast, and that's what we're doing. So.
Yeah. It'd be cool. And once we get people in here to record some podcasts and maybe some individuals and some businesses or whatever.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Some of our members of the guild have donated mics and like some recording equipment. So that's why we came by today, was just to check it out and like, you know, bring the equipment and then just sort of like see, like take inventory, take stock of what we have. And then one of the members of the guild, his husband, donated this art that goes perfectly on the wall. I'm sitting here looking at it because I'm like, I hung it up just to kind of, I didn't want it on the floor, and I wanted to hang it and sort of just see. And it's beautiful. It goes so well with the aesthetic of the room. I'm really excited. Yeah. So it just makes me more excited to get going.
Looks great. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah. Thank you, Eric, and Eric's husband.
Yeah. So anyways, this has been a great, not great, but like it's been a way to stay. It's been a distraction a little bit, even though it's hard to stay focused on any one thing. It's been a good distraction. Like, I'm actually finishing up my master's degree, MBA, and my final like capstone project is to basically start a business from scratch. Like, and all of the students are starting some sort of like imaginary business, and I'm actually like helping out with you and your partners, I guess, your partner, your brother.
I say partners because, my brother and I, like, this was sort of our concept that we were trying to bring to life, but this is going to sound so cheesy the way I say it, but like, it really could not have happened unless we had all the people that have stepped in to help us. Like, it would not be a thing if we didn't have the people that are helping us, like, accomplish this. So it's really everybody's project. It's our baby. It's our podcasting Albuquerque baby.
Yeah.
For all of us Berkeley podcasters.
For sure. I'm trying to bring back Albuquerquean.
I'm bringing Berkeley back.
No.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Please don't.
Like, I don't
make
know.
me sing that again.
Growing up, when people said burke, I was like, oh, that's like...
Burke.
They're like...
Allah, bro.
Those guys are gangsters, man. Like they say burke and going to Santa and Espa. And for me, I never... Like, I rebelled against the rebels. Like, my whole family's, whatever, cholos and
Norteños.
stuff. Norteños. So when they said, oh, we're going to burke, we're going to Santa or Espa, and I'm like, whatever. I'll say Albuquerque.
So, by the way, this is a northern New Mexico accent you're putting on right now. That people might think it sounds funny or like you're being over dramatic. He's not. It's a northern New Mexican accent. I can put it on just like you wear a hat. You just start talking like that. Yeah. I don't usually do that, but anyways, I think for the West Coast, we say like a lot.
Right.
It's like, this, and then like that, and then like this, and I catch myself saying like all the time, and I'm like, there it is. Didn't even realize I was doing it.
So it's funny to me that burke is like popular now, and it's like a, I don't know what kind of term it is. It's just sort of like even the mayor says it, like, like that wasn't the case.
It's become
that wasn't the case 30 years ago.
Like trend.
Yeah. So I'm gonna rebel against that just because I always have, and I'm gonna say Albuquerquean. I'm an Albuquerquean.
You're an Albuquerquean?
Yeah. So, anyways, so it's been a good distraction. We have been in the midst of just craziness as parents.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah. So I'm a teacher. I'm teaching from home. Our kids are all doing school. Like Juliet, not officially quite yet, but
she will be.
She will be, and our middle guy Riley, he just started kindergarten, and it is hot in here.
It is really hot in here.
He just started kindergarten,
out, so we don't have any air.
I wish we had air.
We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, that'll be fine. And then Luke, he's doing third grade, so our days at home, and I know we don't want to think about it now because we're just like sitting on this couch, but I think it's good
the great parent conundrum, talking about your kids when your kids aren't around and saying, we need to not talk about the kids.
Right.
We need to just enjoy ourselves. And then yet you find yourself making a podcast talking about your kids, even though you said you weren't going to do that.
Right. But anyways, that's what's on everybody's mind right now, I think, is like getting through whatever it is that we're getting through, like this pandemic and, nuts.
In school... I mean, we're coming from a unique perspective, I think, because you're a teacher. I'm a home parent right now, homeschooling / not homeschooling, but distance teaching, I don't even know. It's not homeschooling, but it's distance learning for our kids. And
right. And like your kindergartner is not going to be independent. Like they need you. It's basically their teacher is like running the lesson, and you're
an EA, bro.
Yeah, you're doing the heavy lifting though. Like, you know what I mean? So
it's hard. I mean, because we have Juliet, like Lorenzo said, who's 4. She's getting ready to go into preschool in the city. After much back and forth in my own mind, because I was like, I don't know if I feel okay with that. They're keeping it under 10 kids. It's in a portable, so it's very sterile and clean and easy to maintain. I know the teachers. I know what they're doing. I went in and took a tour and said, like, all of our kids have gone to the same pre-K. And so I know these people.
Same teacher.
I know they're trying. I know their efforts are not wasted. So I feel better about that. And I think for us, honestly, it's what we have to do, because otherwise I would be trying to teach pre-K and have to sit with a kindergartner and try to facilitate him on a computer.
A third grader.
And I'm one person.
Yeah.
And then Lorenzo is teaching from home his high school students. And, they just extended the online school until after Christmas. So this is our normal now. So we really have to find ways to work around it. And it's been tough on everybody. We have our neighbors that are teachers. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Will.
Yeah, dude. Like,
they have...
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, they have 2 kids, and they're both teachers also. So it's like they're teaching their students and trying to educate their children at home at the same time. Like, how do you do that? Yeah. Like, I think a lot of parents are in this conundrum where it's like, what do we do with this?
So we'll just vocalize our frustrations for you.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, I know that there's I mean, we were watching the news the other day, and it was kind of funny. We like to watch the news because we're old people. But there was this like couple that the dad is he works at NASA, and mom, I don't know what mom did, but like they're like, yeah,
She's probably like a bohemian interior designer in LA, and like she like. You know, I mean, who knows? They always have like these obscure jobs that pay stupid money.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a cactus breeder in Palm Canyon for Coachella.
Yeah, a cactus whisperer.
Right.
No, they're like, yeah, so we put our kids into
Also call me
pods.
because I want that job.
Yeah. Give Lindsay that job, please.
I'll move to Palm Springs and breed cacti for millions of dollars. Sure thing.
Please pay out our lease contract. Thank you. No, like they're like, yeah, we're doing pods for our kids, and you know, we're just, and I hate it. Like they said, oh, we're so blessed to be able to do the pods. I'm like, dude.
My automatic response was like, fuck you.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so a lot of parents right now are frustrated. Albuquerque Public Schools just announced like last week, yeah, we're going to be in virtual learning until January. I know there's some schools, I think Colorado is doing in person, but there's a lot of districts around the country they're going to be virtual. And
I know Oregon has said all year, like they're not opening schools all year.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if New Mexico, when it came back to reevaluating that, like if we're just like, yeah, all year. So,
I think they're going to look at consistency too. And they're going to realize that they took all this time to try to roll out this system. They're going to figure out the kinks in the system. And that's going to take until Christmas, I'm sure. Yeah. And then by that point, they're going to be like, okay, we're not going to go back to, or maybe they'll at least give the option. I don't know.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Day one, though, I wanted off this like ship. You know what I mean? And I'm not one, like I'm... for the most part, pretty calm about shit. Like, you know, like...
No, you keep me grounded when I'm, like, losing my mind. You're like, hold on,
But day one was like, holy shit. Like, my kindergartners virtual learning from 8 a.m. to, like, 2 p.m.
Which is insane because, okay, side note, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
You don't even teach until 2 p.m. Your students have independent study and independent work. My 8-year-old doesn't even sit there until 2. And I'm like, why are we having kindergartners sit on the computer until 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Right.
This is insane.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Give them homework to go play.
There's that. And my kindergartner, too, he's, like, super quiet and super soft. And, like, he has to be on the camera. And he has to talk about, like, his first day routine. And
he's
shy. Yeah, he's a little shy. And I have some videos, and I'll show them to you, like, because I recorded them on my phone. But anyways, yeah, like, there's that. And then Luke was trying to figure out and getting back in the routine of school. Like, day one... was just nuts for everybody. And then Juliet, like you're doing the best you can and like getting her learning on day one, and she's doing some software that some of our friends gave to us, ABC Mouse, and then
but that's also one more computer workstation that we need that we don't always have. Yeah. So it's like, what do we do, you know?
Yeah.
We have literally like 4 different desk stations set up in our house.
Right.
For 4 different classes.
And then I'm trying to teach Mike. It was just nuts. It was crazy. And yeah.
Well, and you know, I wanted to say something just from an emotional standpoint, and this is going to get heavy, and I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I wanted to say to parents, first of all, it's okay to cry. You have permission. You have permission to lose your shit. I was crying on my closet floor like Monday night because I was like, I don't know how we can do this. This is insane. I don't know what to do. Let's just take the kids out of school. Let's take our trailer. Let's go on road trips for a year. Let's call it a gap year. I don't know. Let's call it a learning experience of life.
Dude, that should be...
It should just be a thing. We should all just take a year off.
Can you imagine? Let's just like imagine for a second and pretend like our kids, we can learn off from our kids. Like they pretend so much. Let's pretend for a second that the United States government was like, okay, cool. This virus is not going away anytime soon. We have to social distance. Everybody gets a year's salary. Right. Okay. Schools.
It's like maternity leave, but it's virus leave.
You know what? Schools, like, everybody's just going to have to skip a year. That's okay. Go to kindergarten when you're 6. Go to first grade when you're 7. All right? And take a trip. And, like, let's explore some national parks. And let's do some hands-on learning, and I don't
know if you'd want everyone to take a trip, because then everybody would just be in contact.
But there's so much land, and let's just go
explore
and social distance and be apart from people and take giant coolers with food and
isolate and explore. Yeah. I think honestly we could implement this, and it would be amazing, and I think it would be a big growth period. I also think it would help families who are struggling to get back to learning how to maintain... I'm going to sneeze. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Oh, bless you.
Ooh, Ooh, that was a good one.
Bless you.
I'm allergic to the state, by the way. It would help families it would ease the tension of all of this school work, juggling COVID bullshit we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like this dog and pony show that's happening. I don't even know.
So you just mentioned that. I'm like, okay, education is not full steam right now. Like we're not maximizing the effectiveness of our education system right now. And then on the flip side, because there's working parents at home, we're not maximizing the effect of like our workforce right now. Right. Like education and our workforce is like, I would say less than like half capacity right now because of this shit. Like,
why not pay teachers to do like professional development courses online during this time to become better teachers for when they can go back to school? And why not encourage people to become teachers during this time so that like they can also feed that education. They can pick up that piece when we can go back to school. I mean, we're already in a shortage in New Mexico of teachers.
Oh, yeah.
And teachers don't get paid a lot.
That's why there's a shortage.
Right.
And teaching is hard in New Mexico. We're last in education.
And yet we're making it harder for them, and we're not offering any respite. People are hitting burnout. I have had 2 different teachers tell me in the last week, I'm thinking about going to technical school. I'm thinking about changing my career. I can't do this.
Dude, I'm
really tired. I just want to answer phones and do customer service on the phone all day because at least I would be able to make money and not have to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can understand that. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so many things that we could be doing. I feel like education needs a reform. Maybe, hopefully, this will lead us that way. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. It's nuts. I wish we could just learn from living a little bit. I wish we could just take our kids and teach them to experience the world.
Right.
And that would be enough right now because I feel like this is adding pressure and stress to people. And then they're saying there might not even be a vaccine until like 2021 in the summer. And then when you hit that, it's like, there's all of this shit. You know, you're going to have people that are essential needing the vaccine first. You're going to have this whole hierarchy of people that need it before everybody else. And then you're going to run out, and then you're going to have this wait. I mean, it's going to still be a mess. The other thing I wanted to say, and I want to back way up. So you have permission to cry on the floor of your closet. It's okay. I did it. I don't feel bad. It's what needed to happen. The second thing, and I'm going to be real candid about this, is that I ended up going and talking to my doctor this week and being like, you know what? I think I need a little something for depression and anxiety because I am having a really hard time coping with this. And so I started Zoloft this week, and it's actually helped. Whether you are for medication or against it or whatever, you do what you have to do. But there is no shame in seeking extra help because it is, if there is any time that is okay, it is now.
Right.
And you are allowed. And you need to do what you need to do as parents and as humans to just figure out how you can maintain like for your family.
And I didn't even think about this too. Like a lot of the tools that people use to keep their mental health like in a healthy space, you know, like going to the gym or going to yoga.
Those outlets are gone.
Or meeting with friends or like going to a restaurant or like meeting, going to a festival and just like being happy with like people. Like that's part of like who we are.
Looking forward to social events.
Part of just being human.
Yeah.
Sharing meals with each other. Those have been taken. And
people's outlets are being shrunk down.
Yep.
And so you are allowed to be vulnerable and you're allowed to go and say, hey, I need help, or I can't do this right now, or I might need something else to help me get through this because it's a hard time. It's okay.
It's like a domino effect crisis. Like, and I'm gonna say this too. Like we have shit leadership. Talking about our president, who just is a fucking like narcissistic.
There's not even a word
asshole.
For what he is because it's just terrible.
Yeah, like we're the worst. Like, and there's people who are dying, and it's a domino effect of just bad leadership.
Also, what kind of brainwashing? I'm sorry, but like, what kind of brainwashing has had to happen to where people think wearing a mask for the sake and kindness and goodness of other people is political? Like, that is not how viruses work. Right.
Yeah, it's really disheartening, and
I'm talking to you, Karen.
Yeah. Well, one of my running thoughts. So I've been running in the middle of the afternoon.
Running thoughts with Lorenzo.
Yeah. So one of those thoughts that I had was, even though 2020 is just straight madness and it's terrible, I almost feel like 2019 was our breaking point, and like we're gonna understand later on down the line that 2020 had to happen. 2020 had to expose the problems with the evangelical church supporting like racism and like
All the shitty things that it's
like
condoning
the
right now.
worship and like the worship and like the worship of money and greed and corporations and all this other shit like that's going on. And I don't know, I might sound like a crazy person right now, I guess, but like
No, I think that you're saying how a lot of
but
people
it's
are
exposing.
feeling.
This is like all of this is exposing this ugliness of our country. And like I don't know about you, but I was brought up as an American to be told. I was told like America is like can do no wrong and is flawless. And
Oh, you mean like the manifest destiny thing? Like
well,
like we're the chosen country because we're just so good and we're so prosperous and we're just so perfect and
Right.
God loves America.
yeah, it's like okay,
Why
so
have we decided God is American? I really have never understood that whole idea.
like the this weird marriage of the
Politics
Christian
and
God and the United States. Yeah. I mean, I see it now, but it's just insane. And I get it. Like there was a time when the United States was a refuge and like was a place for people to come who were running from
Politics
tyranny
and religion.
and politics and they came to the United States and we welcomed them with open arms and said, hey, yeah, come
Do your thing,
like
you're
be
welcome.
prosperous, like have kids, like be with your friends, like practice your religion and whatever else. But like then there's this ugliness of our country that is so like not even talked about because we have this idea that the United States can do no wrong. Anyways, I went off on this huge tangent.
No,
I'm
you
sorry.
didn't though. It's one of those things where it really is just like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Like we are becoming the very thing that we were trying to run away from.
Right. Oh, and that's what I was
And
saying.
we repeat history and we don't even realize it.
So this is this like 2020 has to expose what the evangelical church is specifically like in particular. Like they elected this president,
Right.
and that's
This
and
is
that's
the consequence of your actions.
and it's and like the mistreatment and like the oh man, like our black community,
the abuse and mistreatment and
like our gay communities, like
I feel
these
like
are
we
all
get on
people.
this soapbox all the time, but that's because people keep saying it and nobody is listening.
Right.
And we are tired of people not listening.
But this is the year when these things are being exposed and it's being shown to the rest of the world. Like, look, the United States is not we are not perfect. In fact, we are far from it. And like we need to change and like we need to figure this out. We need to figure out how to take care of the environment. We need to figure out how to use less energy. We need to figure out how to love our neighbors. Like we need to figure out how to condemn like narcissistic like greed and like all this shit.
Which
like,
is what our country has been running under for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It's been narcissistic greed, it's money, it's corruption,
Yeah.
it's corporate America, it's the business over the individual, it's the religion over the actual person
you know what's
and their
nuts
feelings.
too? Is Donald Trump
You know.
is the embodiment of all of that.
Yeah.
He is like the Antichrist incarnate. Like I mean that sounds so crazy.
You crazy.
But like
But it's true.
he is like exactly the opposite of Jesus Christ. Like if you think about it, he's the exact opposite. And what's just funny, what's ironic is like the church elected this guy. Like
and then they stand by him and they justify his behavior.
it's
like
just so crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
I can't even like wrap my head around that right now.
But I think that this, I think that this, like 2020, as much as it is terrible and it sucks and it has been the shittiest year by far of any, I think that it has brought to light a lot of these areas that we need to grow as a society. And it's hard and it's sad and it's ugly and it's scary and it's all of these things. But now, I feel like as a country, as a culture, we have no excuse to say, oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know racism was still happening in America. Oh, I didn't know the church condoned that. No, now you fucking know, okay?
Yeah.
It's been brought out. It's already been brought in.
Now it's on you.
Right.
Now the ball's in your court.
Exactly.
Like, do with it what you will.
But you can't claim ignorance anymore. And you can't claim that you haven't had time to think about this, or you just didn't know, or, oh, I never saw that happen. I mean, it's on YouTube. It's like George Floyd. Like, it's on camera. It's on your video. Face. Like, you have no excuse to be ignorant at all. There's
a man who we witnessed. Like a white cop's knee was on his throat for like 8 minutes.
And somebody saying, I can't breathe, and crying for their mother. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, America?
And now there's
Sorry, I'm like really mad now because I'm just like, this is not okay. This is uncalled for. This is not America. This is not what and I'm going to sound so stupid. This is not what our forefathers came over here for. This is not why we were fleeing in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we like the people who came here. I mean, a big chunk of the people here, like our ancestors, I guess, were here because they were marginalized and because they were forgotten about, and because they were
to express themselves religiously on their own terms.
I mean, for the most part, I guess. Like,
yeah, well, and I think it's interesting. I went to Bible college. For better or for worse. That's not something I like saying out loud because I don't like people to know that about me and then try to peg me or stereotype me because I am definitely not that. I went and I learned a lot about what God and faith and Jesus Christ is not in Bible college. So, I mean, I guess that was a good experience. I learned a lot about what I don't believe. But anyway, it's interesting because people always try to throw our forefathers were Christian and this is a Christian nation and it was founded on Christianity. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not. This was not like Christians coming from England and forming a Christian country. This was people coming to the United States to try to form their own spiritual beliefs and figure out what the fuck that was.
Yeah.
So, like, you cannot stand on that. No.
Oh.
No, in Bible college, they will talk a lot about, like, you have to read, like, Pilgrim's Progress and Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. That is the fucking worst.
There's a book.
Don't ever read that.
Well, read it to be educated.
Right.
That is the theology that the Christian church was.
It's a fear-based theology based on God being an angry child with a magnifying glass.
And it's gonna like God, like that's the
God is the God of wrath and punishment.
Yeah,
and that's where our
cast people into hell and stuff.
Right. That's where our theology in the United States comes from. Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
I read a book called "Sinners in the Hands of a Loving God," or "Sinners in the Hands of a." It was in contrast to. Let me see if I can. I'm sorry. I just have to look it up, and I'll link it in the show notes. Sinners in the Hands of a Loving God. Yes, there it is. Sinners in the Hands of a Loving God by Brian Zahnd. And he is a preacher from Kansas City, actually. And he read Sinners in the Hands of a Loving God as a young pastor. And then that was his theology for a long time. But then he completely turned it around. And this book is good. Like, I like him. I follow him on Twitter, too. Like, even though I'm not on a Twitter... I'm on a Twitter break right now.
Good for you, son.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Good for you, son.
Yeah. So anyways... I don't know.
So for the sake of tangents, I mean, we are really just in this time where, like I said, you have no excuse to not know.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the fucking internet.
Right.
Like, if you're not sure, do some research. Like, take it to the lab, okay?
Yeah. And 2020 is going to expose all of this. That was like my original thought. Like, 2020 is going to expose this. And what I'm really hopeful for, I'm hopeful for this, is that after... all of this sort of like we're letting it marinate right now, and I'm really hoping that like we sort of learn from this,
right?
And that we start to change. We start to like understand the error of our ways as a country, and we can kind of look in the mirror and say, yeah, maybe we're not perfect. Maybe we're actually far from it. We made
some mistakes along the way.
Yeah, and maybe we have room for improvement, and like we can do wrong, and we can make changes, and we can't like. There's a lot. I don't know. Like,
I just find it funny that human beings. I mean. If we're going to go biblical,
Go do it. Go biblical.
No, for real. One of my favorite books of the Bible, if we're being honest, and people always give me shit for this. They're like, that's such a downer. And I'm like, maybe not. Maybe it's just real and honest. I really like Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
And it's not even that it's like a Bible book. It's just that it's good insight. It's somebody who's sitting there. They think it was King David, right? So he...
Ecclesiastes was Solomon's, yeah.
Solomon, sorry. King Solomon. So he had basically everything that he wanted. And I don't care if you're religious or not. You can look at it as like a piece of literature. Okay, so it's this king. He had everything he wanted. You know, he had money. He had women. He had everything. Right.
Lots of women.
So many ladies.
He was wealthy. Like palaces, servants.
Yeah, he had many a baby
land,
mama, and
many baby mamas,
many babies as well. But he's sitting there and he's just like, shit, man. Like none of this is worth anything. Like this is all just like, and nothing. And my favorite phrase of that book is that there is nothing new under the sun. Mm-hmm. And I think that is wise, no matter where you come from, what your background is, what your spiritual beliefs are, fine, whatever. There is nothing new under the sun. We have been here before, just in a different context. I mean, in history, you can look back and see where people have been in these places and they have made mistakes. Mm-hmm. And the point is, if there is nothing new under the sun, because humanity is the same, we have not evolved that much.
This isn't our first pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what can we learn? Mm-hmm. Right? What can you learn from history? Like, what can you learn? Because if there is nothing new under the sun, we've been here before. Yeah. But for some strange reason, we keep having to relearn the same lessons over and over and over again because we just don't get it. Yeah. Maybe this time we can try to get it.
Maybe America, we're like the Israelites. Like, we just like never figure this out. Like, oh, wait, I shouldn't follow this narcissistic asshole. Right. But like, he promises wealth and he promises to like exclude all the people that I don't like. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
he told me shit's gonna get real and it's gonna be great.
He said the virus is just gonna go away and that masks are a hoax and the mail system is suppressing the vote. Like, I don't know.
But whatever. What I'm saying is, no, I feel like if there is nothing new under the sun, fucking learn something, people. Like, learn something. Look at the the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918. What did we learn from that? Or what are we not learning that we should be learning right now?
Right.
Sometimes
you have to learn the lesson over and over and over.
Right, but we have the power and the ability, and we have all of these resources in front of us. Mm-hmm. We have no excuse anymore.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like, what are we doing, you and I, as parents, as teachers, as, spouses, as educators, as neighbors, friends, whoever, what are we doing to learn our own personal lesson here? What can we do differently and better?
Right.
For me, I felt really just very strongly about my tribe. And I know that sounds so cheesy and that sounds so cliche and it sounds like I'm such a basic bitch when I say that.
You're talking about your friend
right.
group?
No, I'm talking about my friends because I realize that a lot of my friends' parents come from places like mine. They're very conservative. They don't agree. They don't wear their masks. They're not taking things seriously. So I want to check on my friends and I want to ask them genuinely, how are you doing? Are you okay? If you're not, can we talk about it? What do you need as an outlet that I can help with?
Yeah.
Do you need to come over for dinner? Do I need to stop by and have coffee with you? I will wear my mask and sit 6 feet away from you if that's what it takes. I want to make sure that I can take care of the people in my circle because they matter to me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you don't have bars to go out to and socialize. You don't have restaurants. You don't have all these things you used to do. You can't just go to the gym, but you still have control over the people that you care about. And you still have control over the people that you choose to enrich their lives and just fucking listen to people. If you see them struggling, ask them genuinely hey, I see you struggle. I see you.
And I care about you.
And I care. Yeah. And that's the hard part. I think a lot of times people also, just think that no one sees them and nobody cares.
I think people are afraid to struggle.
It's not weakness and it's not failure. Yeah, it's human.
We can say we can tell each other, I'm struggling too. I'm having a hard time too. I'm dealing with my mental health too. That is, and thank you for sharing that too, earlier.
Yeah.
People need to know it's not
a shameful thing.
Yeah, we are all going through this and let's let's feel that like unity in struggle. Like we are all doing this together, right? So
we need to take a quick parenting pause.
Okay.
Because my dad is calling me.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, so
we're back.
We're back. Where were
Sorry,
we?
I had both of my parents call me simultaneously. Like my mom was outside in their yard and my dad was inside in their house. And for whatever reason, they both didn't know the other one was calling me. So
They both thought of you at the same time.
they both called me at the same time. It was really weird. So anyway, they want their blender back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll get your blender.
Your mom too?
Yes, she's like, I was calling about the blender. I have kale. And I was like, okay. Like,
Yum.
cool. She's doing some crazy diet. I don't know what she's doing, but she's lost 10 pounds. So like, that's cool. Good for her. You know, get it, girl.
There you go.
I was like,
says it.
yeah, I was like, kale and pineapple is good, but I guess she can't have it. I don't know. I'm not really sure what she's doing, but cool.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, pandemic is hard. Leadership sucks. What else?
Beer is delicious.
Beer is delicious.
There's always that.
Yeah. 2021. Looking at you. Maybe even 2022.
I feel like 2021 is too premature.
Yeah. 2022 is going to be when we're back at it, right?
So I was looking at 2019 as like, I mean, everyone said it was like a crazy, crappy, terrible year, but it wasn't bad.
2019.
2019 was like the party. Like everyone showed up to the party.
Yeah.
2020 is like the great hangover. And 2021 is going to be like, I've decided to get clean. Like,
yeah, we're not partying anymore.
I've decided to stay sober. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like 2022 might be the year we get our shit together.
Except for Florida. They're going to rebel against that forever.
Florida, you know, I'm sure you have some good people there, but can I just say that if you guys want to succeed, you want to be your own place.
It looks like the state's already trying to leave.
Let's just do that.
Yeah, like
you have permission.
We'll dig a trench. Like maybe we'll even build the trench further north. Like we'll exclude Georgia. Georgia
Louisiana,
can go.
you can go too.
Alabama, we don't need you. Sorry.
I mean, most of the South. No, I mean, Florida, we can build a trench and we can fill it with alligators.
There you go.
And don't worry, we'll stay out.
You guys can do whatever the hell you want. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You win.
Be bad. We'll check on you in 50 years and see if anybody's still alive.
Yeah. You guys can maybe talk to Cuba about restoring that relationship. You guys can figure it out. Oh my God.
No. Leave Cuba out of this. Cuba's like, no.
We did not volunteer for this. We've had enough shit. Oh God.
Yeah.
We're terrible people.
That's okay.
It's fine. I think we're all terrible people. It's 2020. I did order my Biden-Harris sticker yesterday, and I am very excited about it. Mm-hmm. I've been asked by many people if I'm going to make Biden-Harris jewelry, and I'm like, I don't know.
Biden wasn't my first choice.
No.
I mean, surprise, I'm a Bernie and Elizabeth Warren type of guy.
The burn definitely lingers longer.
I felt the burn.
No, I still feel it.
Yeah. Don't say that out loud. We just did. But anyways, yeah, like that's okay. We're not there yet. Mm-hmm. You know, baby steps.
Baby steps.
I mean,
baby steps.
We took a huge step in the wrong direction. Now it's baby steps back. That's okay. Yeah. But I watched the Kamala Harris.
Do you ever feel like the United States is just like the Staten Island of the world?
Maybe. Yeah, right now it is.
Just had to get that.
Yeah, we're watching a show right now. It's based in Staten Island. It's funny. Like Staten Island's the borough, I guess, of New York City that everybody makes fun of, I guess.
When we went there the last time, we were just trying to get a beer. Like we went on the ferry. We were like, let's get a drink, right?
Oh yeah, like the ferry was free. Like with your not free, cool, but like, it was part of your Metro card.
Well, yeah, and like I'm gonna be real with you, like. I could give two shits if I have to go see the Statue of Liberty on some crazy, like, paid excursion. I'll just take the freaking ferry across. It's fine.
You could bring your beer on the ferry.
Like, look, I can see it. Cool. Let's have a beer.
Yeah.
And also, I'll zoom in my camera and take some great pictures.
Hold that thought.
Solved.
Hold that thought.
All right.
I was going to say about the Kamala Harris speech. was super inspiring. And she wasn't my first pick when during the debates, the Democratic debates for the nomination. I'm like, okay, yeah, she's fine. Like I like her. Like I'm more my policies tend more towards the even further like towards Warren or Bernie. But anyways, inspiring. It was great. Staten Island.
Yeah. We tried to get a beer in Staten Island, and for whatever reason, everywhere I went, they're like, "Oh, it's cash only, and there's an ATM like 4 blocks that way." And I'm just like, dude, it is like a Sunday afternoon. What do you mean it's cash only? Do you want my money?
It was something though, like Staten Island. Like we got off the ferry, and like there's a mall there, I guess.
We've been there twice.
The whole point of riding the ferry to Staten Island is not Staten Island.
It's not a destination, everyone.
It was the ferry itself. Like, cool, we get to be on a boat while we're here. And I didn't have to pay for this boat, and it was kind of neat.
I did not have to pay for this boat.
And the Ellis Island ferry, like, there's people in New York City who are trying to, like, get you to ride their ferry, and it's, like, super expensive, and, like, there's tourism all over the place.
That's, like, the worst when you go to, like, Times Square, and everyone's trying to sell you these, like, day excursions, and you're like, just leave me alone. Like, God, don't talk to me.
Don't talk. Get on my face.
I'm walking here.
I'm
so stupid. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, so like the Staten Island ferry, we went with John and Amanda, our friends John and Amanda.
Yeah,
which was fun. Like
we definitely boozed it the entire time.
No,
it
we
was,
did.
Like, the most fun.
We bought like a huge, I don't know, that's like a 30-ounce can of like it was like what's the orange beer? Blue Moon.
Oh,
it was
like
Blue Moon.
Shock Top?
It was kind of like Shock. It was Blue Moon.
Blue Moon, yeah.
We bought Blue Moons and we put them in like. No, we asked the lady. We're like, hey, can we bring this Blue Moon on the boat? And she's like, yeah, you just got to put on a cup with a lid. I'm like, okay, cool.
Where are your biggest cups at? How many of these can we put in here?
Yeah. So we're just like drinking beer on the boat, and like, oh, there's the Statue of Liberty. I'm like standing on the deck looking out, and it's like nice cool air.
That was reminiscent to me of the time we were in San Francisco. Well, we were in Alameda visiting our friend Emo, and then we like took the ferry. We had this bender, okay?
Yeah.
Like, we went to my friend Heather's wedding. Hey, Heather. It was in Fremont, and it was like an open bar, which was amazing. And so we had this whole like day drinking thing at the wedding.
Yeah.
And then we were like, how far is San Francisco? I mean, it's a couple hours, whatever, let's go. Yeah. Like, this was like our first time without kids after our second son was born.
Was Riley born at this point?
He was 6 months.
He was a baby.
6 or 7 months old.
Yeah.
He was like 8 months.
We drove from Albuquerque to Alameda.
We stayed in Bakersfield for like 3 hours.
Not even 3 hours.
Was it really?
It was like an hour and a half.
I hate Bakersfield.
We checked in at like 2 a.m. because I got lost.
Yeah, I remember that.
I lost service. This was in 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
And I had my smartphone, but we lost service.
It was 2016 because Riley was...
It was 2015.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Either way, I didn't have like an actual map. I was like depending on Google Maps, and I got lost in the middle of California. But we made it. We made it.
So we went to this wedding, beautiful, beautiful wedding. Did our thing at the wedding, made some friends, had some drinks, made some more friends, had some more drinks. Everyone's like, New Mexico! And we're like, yeah, it's like a thing. Okay.
Who was that? Who was doing that?
Do you remember those guys at our table that were like, I don't remember. And then my friend Heather's mom like pointed out in her speech, like, and we even have people here from New Mexico. And I was like,
oh yeah, and like the little coasters she made were tiles, like New Mexican tiles.
Yes, they were. Yeah, it was like
we still have it, don't we?
My friend Heather, she's a New Mexican, so we were the token New Mexicans at this wedding. And so yeah, we came to the wedding and everything, and it was great. And then we ended up driving to Alameda to see Emo, and he's like, well, I mean, we can do a couple things. We just hang out. We're like, we can go hit San Francisco real fast. I mean, how tired are you? And we were like, well,
we're super tired.
We leave tomorrow morning, but the thing is, we've been drinking all day, and we're like, let's do it. Yeah. So we like took the ferry over, had some beers on the ferry, like went and did San Francisco in a night, which was insane. I think we got back to his house at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, and then woke up, and then drove home.
Yeah, it was a time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just those ferry situations are always fun times for us.
Insane. Yeah. We freaking drove all the way to San Francisco and back. Yeah. That was fun though. That ferry ride was fun. Just like it was, we rode it there. I think it was already dark, right?
No,
it wasn't dark.
No, not yet. Because I had taken some pictures. When we rode it back, it was dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so fun. Yeah. I love the Bay Area, and I love San Francisco.
Yeah.
And
riding ferries, like public transportation that takes you on water, is
they're on fire.
Something
right
special.
now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. The Bay Areas. I mean, the redwoods are in danger too.
I've never been to the redwoods.
Either have I.
Which is kind of sad. In my whole life of like West Coastedness, I've never been to the redwoods, and I've always wanted to go.
Yeah. So
we're thinking about going to Palm Springs pretty soon here to see my grandpa for his 87th birthday, if he'll allow it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like we need to get somewhere.
Yeah, we do.
With our family, because this insanity with school and everything else is just not sustainable right now.
Yeah. So anyways.
Gotta free my mind a little.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well.
Wow. Sorry, I just killed the conversation.
That's okay.
Sorry.
We kind of hit our peak when we were blasting our country and our president.
And that's not our goal either. Like, this isn't a podcast where we want to get like hyper political or hyper pissed off all the time. I realize the last couple podcasts have kind of been that way, but I think that's just how people are feeling, and this is just how the world is right now.
That's okay. So here's like for me, we talk Enneagram sometimes, but like whatever.
Talk Enneagram to me.
I'm a type 9. I might be type 4, depending on the test. Lindsay's like, no, you're not 4 because she's a 4.
I'm solely unique, and you are not.
Yeah,
you are not.
Personality tests, like you take them at face value. Or face value, is that a thing?
Yeah.
With a grain of salt, whatever. Like it's something that kind of gives you an idea of who you are. It helps you to visualize like who you are, and to reflect on your personality and all this other stuff, whatever. But for me, like a type 9, if it's strong in me, I tend to want to not rock the boat.
The 9 is strong with this one.
Yeah, I tend to not want to like say something that I really believe if I think it might hurt somebody's feelings.
If you're a 4, you're like, fuck feelings. I'm gonna say what I want.
Yeah, for the most part.
Sorry, that's not nice.
That's okay. So historically, I have kept my mouth shut about politics and about religion and about everything else. Mm-hmm. This year, I had to make the decision, and I had to like really get out of being comfortable and like not speaking up and actually speaking up.
Right.
And leaving my church and saying things about this president that I feel like are so wrong.
Right.
And speaking up for like my beliefs about like supporting our Black community and our gay community. Mm-hmm. Like those are huge things that when you say and you have an opinion on something, like you expose yourself, and I'm like, I'm okay with that right now.
You know what really made me mad the other day?
What's up?
I put up a picture about like the anniversary of women's suffrage, right? Because it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna get mad.
Get mad.
I'm pissed.
Hot take.
Hot take. Here we are. And somebody's like, "Oh, you're such a feminist." And I was like, because I think women should be able to vote, and I'm proud that we can. That makes me a feminist. Seriously? Like, get educated, bro. Like,
we
for
should
real?
all be feminists, dude.
Right? Like, I just thought it was so funny that because I was like, hey, this is the anniversary of women's suffrage. Good on women. Hooray. It was like that. Like, I get called a feminist, which, yeah, okay, I am, and that's fine. But, like, it's not a bad word. First of all, it's not an insult either. But I was just like, do you understand the words that are coming out of your mouth? Like,
they were using it as like as something that's bad or like
to try
negative.
to shame me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, your mom is too, probably. Like, it was just like irritating to me. I was like, dude, really? Like, you're gonna shame me for being like stoked about the fact that women like could vote and we're celebrating that? Like, I just don't understand how ignorant you are. Like, I guess I don't know.
I had a moment yesterday of bliss. On my phone, I have, because I only have 64 gigabytes of memory space on my phone. Anyway, I decided to delete some apps. And some of the apps that I use the most are some of the apps that I feel like cause me the most amount of like stress. So I deleted Facebook. That was, I mean, Facebook is, sometimes it's nice to have Facebook, like to be social and stuff. Like sometimes I need some sort of human interaction. But I deleted Facebook because most of the time Facebook stresses me out. So I deleted Facebook. I deleted Facebook Messenger. And then the other two apps that I use even more, Twitter and Instagram, I deleted them. That was hard for me because I use those daily.
Yeah.
I check Instagram. Like there's some personalities that I follow and like I care about what they say. And then like I catch news on Twitter. And then I just kind of watch some Twitter discussions from afar. Like I never participate, but I kind of like watch these Twitter threads, and I'm like, it's sort of like interesting, to just see people interacting in real time. So I deleted it.
Yeah.
And then Instagram was hard for me too because I love to take pictures. That's like my artistic outlet is taking pictures and showing them to people. And like I like when people like my pictures. It gives me that is it serotonin? Is that the hormone? Yeah. Serotonin boost, like when somebody likes my picture. So anyways, like I deleted
the reward center of your brain working.
There you go. Yeah. So I deleted those apps and it was hard for me. And after a couple of days, I'm like, I don't need these anymore. Like, what do I do now? What kind of apps do I use now? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to tell somebody I feel good about deleting my social media apps, but I didn't have anybody to tell because my social media apps were deleted.
You can tell me.
I'm
so proud of you.
Thank you. I've been texting you more. I don't know if you noticed that. Like,
Good job.
I text you like articles that I'm reading and like music that I'm liking because I don't have a social media to text it to, so.
No, it's fine. I've been sending you articles about my personal journey, so.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, so I think we should wrap this up.
Yep.
What are you listening to?
Whew. Right now, the sound of my own sweat. Just kidding. It's hotter than.
It's hot in this room.
Hotter than crap in here because the air is off. So, Glass Animals has a new album. Mm-hmm. And they produced it in quarantine. It is my new favorite. It's called Dreamland, based on the single. It's so good. I cannot stop listening to this at all. It's really good. So that's really all I've been listening to, honestly, as far as that goes. As far as music goes, I've just been on repeat for the last week or so.
Yeah.
There is a podcast I downloaded that I haven't started yet, but I'm really excited to. Well, two of them, actually. One of them is called Real Men Talk Shit. And it's a...
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
this is Real Men Talk Shit.
Oops.
Yeah, you sent that to me.
Yeah, I'm excited to listen to this one. And the other one is called Queens of the Mines. And it's a lady in California who talks about the women in like mining communities, like the history. And she kind of gives you a little bit of history of the women who helped shape like the mining communities and history in California. So I think that's kind of cool. And the other one... Where is it? I can't find it right now.
What's it about?
There's so many things in my immediate library that I'm just like, I need to go through this and sort of purge it. I've been listening to the Morbid podcast, which is good. And that's really it. I mean, I have a lot of podcasts that I haven't even tried to listen to yet, just because I've been busy trying to teach.
We can shout out some local
kindergarten.
Podcasts. True crime.
So, okay.
True consequences.
Yeah. So let's talk about podcasts that are in the Borellis Podcast Guild, because we have a podcasters guild.
So our podcast, Parenting versus Podcast.
Yeah. So there's Parenting versus Podcast. These are all local Albuquerque podcasts. There's the What's Up BBQ podcast, which is my other one, with my brother. And then there's 10 Drink Minimum, which is local. Really funny guy, Chris, and a couple of friends.
Brian and Gio made
a podcast. And then there's, True Consequences and Dos Buqueños.
Both from Eric,
our friend Eric, whose husband did the art again. But I like Dos Buqueños. It kind of covers like some spooky things in New Mexico, supernatural stories, folklore, kind of talks about it. It's hilarious.
Were there any other podcasts?
Yeah.
And also you forgot to mention on What's Up BBQ, Paul. He does like the main, like he's the professional sounding voice on your podcast, even though like you and Ryan are not, like you guys are professional too, but like he's the legit like voiceover guy.
So Paul, our buddy Paul Nixon, he works for Paul Nixon VO.
Yeah.
He does voiceover work, and so that's like his deal.
He's got a very good voice.
He's got a great voice. It's very soothing. It's like butter.
It's like butter.
It's
not like a Staten Island butter, but it's like
butter.
It's like an Albuquerque butter.
A little bit of spice.
Yeah.
No, so Paul does VO work. He's incredible. If you've ever heard What's Up BBQ, he does our ads and he does our intros and outros. So that's Paul. If you actually need voice work, you can contact him as well. I'm super excited too, because I got asked to do some voice work for this Italian thing. I mean, I don't speak Italian, but They want an English speaker who is female.
Not like a Staten Island Italian thing.
Yeah,
like an Italy Italian thing.
No, I'm literally just going to be reading something about climate change. But they asked if I would do that for them, and so I'm pretty excited. So I'm going to be doing a little voice work myself, talking about climate change for them, and they're going to be dubbing it over their ad, I think, in Italian. So we'll see. Okay. We'll see what happens with that. I'm kind of excited.
Okay. You listen to anything else?
Something new? No, not really. Just glass animals mostly.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, what about you? What are you listening to?
So as far as music is concerned, I just saw that Louis Del Mar dropped a new album called August, and I started listening to it on my run, and it was really good. Yeah, because I'm studying a lot for my master's degree. I'm almost done. Like I mentioned that already. I'm almost done. I like to study with music, and most of the music I listen to is super calming and like relaxing. One of the musicians as my go-to as I study is City and Color. I think his name is City and Color. So it's like Dallas Green is his name, because Dallas City Green is it. So yeah. Anyways, so City and Color, I listen to them a lot. But then I needed something new. I needed to switch it up. And I'm like, okay, well, Bright Eyes. Okay, well, what else is there from Bright Eyes? So I searched is it Saddle Creek or Saddleback?
Saddle Creek.
Saddle Creek Records from, is it Nebraska or Iowa?
Nebraska.
Omaha. Omaha, that's right. So I went to their website. I did an old school thing. I went to a record label that I know of one artist. Actually, I know two. I know Ugly Organ. Who are they? Cursive.
Yeah.
My brain is just not happening right now.
It's because it's so hot.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap this up. So
also, New Mexico, can you take the temperature down?
Please. And the smoke.
Good God.
California, I know.
California, you need to quit smoking.
Yeah.
In Albuquerque, it's too damn hot.
Yeah, so I went to Saddle Creek Records, and I just found a couple of artists, and I started playing them, and I made a little playlist, and the Google YouTube music algorithm took care of the rest. So I've been listening to a lot of that. Some new Bright Eyes. What else? As far as music is concerned, I'm trying to do some more hip hop into my mix. So, I mean, this sounds super, super lame, but
it's not lame.
I'm like way late on the Drake train. And I started listening to some Drake.
The Drake train stops for no one.
Yeah, I started listening to some Drake. Just old Drake, and I couldn't even tell you what songs they are. Huh? But I played like a Drake song, and then the algorithm took me to some like what hip hop I do know, which is like Nas, and it started taking me to some Nas and stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool, like let's.
But did you get Lil Wayne on your playlist this morning?
I did not.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay, Google. I don't know where your mind's at, but
I was actually listening to a guy this morning called his name is Arizona Zervas. Mm-hmm. His single's Night Rider, and it's kind of hip hoppy. It's new. It's all right. And then the funniest thing was last night.
Oh yeah.
We were playing Jackbox games with our friends. It's this game thing you can play online. It's super fun if you get a chance. Adults, it's like really fun. It's on Jackbox.tv. You should check it out. All of a sudden, our YouTube channel turns on, and we realize that our 8-year-olds are in there messing with it. So it turns on the TV, and it's the song Yes by Kyle featuring Rich the Kid and K-Camp, and we were like, what the hell is this?
That's
because
fine.
It's like three dudes riding a shark. Yeah. And we were just like, what the crap? And all of us were like, who did this? And then we realized our 8-year-olds, like, they were like, we like this song. And we were like, what the?
Yeah.
So I actually listened to the song, and it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's called Yes by Kyle.
Yeah, check it out.
You can check it out.
I'm listening to it on the way here.
And then also Anderson .Paak.
Oh, yeah.
Has a new single called Cut 'Em In.
I sent that to you.
Yeah, it's good. Featuring Rick Ross. It's sick.
I'm like so proud. I sent that to you.
It's so good.
Like I found a song. Like Lindsay's usually the one like she spends like all of her waking hours looking for music. But I found something, I sent it to her.
I also wanted to say too. I've been listening a lot to Beck's album Hyperspace.
Yeah, new album.
Yeah, it's actually really good. And it doesn't remind me of like traditional Beck.
Yeah.
Or like old school Beck. It's
like
got
Odelay?
It's got this like ambiance about it. Like the whole album is super good.
I'm glad that he's evolved and he's not like trying to be 90s still.
He's not Weezer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
oh my gosh, Weezer.
Like, You guys, I love you, but at the
R.I.P.
same time,
Weezer.
I'm sad.
1994 to 1998.
Like Pinkerton was like the end for you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, Green was hard. Anyways, like we won't even talk about Weezer. That's like a whole podcast.
Rest in peace, Weezer.
Yeah, so that's my music podcasts. I listen to the My Career podcast like maybe daily. Mm-hmm. But this most recent one was with number 321 with Nikola Sarcevic, who is a Swedish man who is a brewer, and he's also a band member of a band I absolutely have loved since high school, Millencolin. Mm-hmm. And it was a great episode, and he's talking about their discussion is about what COVID is like in Sweden and how they're handling this, and they're talking about brewing in Sweden and what he's doing like during COVID and how they can't really tour, and it's like a really cool episode. And then I've also been listening to Guru, the Wonderly podcast, and I've been kind of creeping through it. Yeah. Jaime Arturo Rey, James Arthur Ray. Yeah, just
what a crazy.
I'm not usually into like crime stuff.
He's a crazy
well, it's just interesting to me, just the human sort of psyche and how we make decisions and how we decide like who do we trust and the pain that we're going through, and this episode kind of touches on that pain and how we want this, like how we want answers to these really deep questions, and how this guy shows up and he like exploits them. Mm-hmm. It's just nuts. So Guru, I mean, I know it's an older podcast, but that's what I've been listening to.
So
anyways, that, and then go ahead.
No, I wanted to say, we've also, do you want to admit our dirty little secret?
So we've been watching
What We Do in the Shadows on Hulu. So I don't know if you're familiar with Taika Waititi, but he's a director. And he's from New Zealand. He helped with Flight of the Conchords. So kind of in that vein of quirkiness. It is hilarious. It's about a group of vampires that live on Staten Island. Mm-hmm. In present time, but it's filmed like The Office, like a documentary.
I wish I would have taken a picture of the shirt we made last night with Will and with Will and Amanda.
The theme is Staten Island lately, guys. So we've been watching What We Do in the Shadows. It is silly, lighthearted. It's funny.
It's the same cinematic style as The Office, I guess.
Yeah.
Where like they talk to they have a camera crew and they like admit like, hey, we have a camera crew, and like
right, it's like this camera crew following these vampires that live in Staten Island, and they're just trying to adjust to like life.
And they have a familiar whose name is Guillermo.
Yeah. So it's like my new favorite show. It's great.
We've been watching it.
We also watched I, Tonya
that
last
was
night.
Good.
Yeah,
that took me so I usually don't like movies that remake real life events or whatever.
Yeah.
But
it was like mockumentary style.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there's a lot I didn't know about the Tonya Harding thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember hearing about it as I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I remember hearing, "Oh, Tonya Harding." I thought so in my mind. Even
you thought she was the one that bashed.
I thought she was the one that like bashed this lady's kneecaps. But then I started reading, and I guess like she actually like Nancy Kerrigan competed in that event, and like she ended up winning silver, and then Tonya Harding got like 9th place or something. Anyways, that was a good movie.
Yeah, growing up in Oregon too, I think that I probably had more exposure to this in the news and stuff than maybe you did here. But it was a big deal. Like I remember hearing about it as a kid. I remember, we go to like the Lloyd Center. It's a mall in Oregon where there was an ice skating rink, and she would practice there. It was like a big deal in the Portland metro area because that's where she's from. And I remember that it was like, for people, it was like devastating. It was like all over the place. People were like, what?
Yeah.
It was crazy. And so to watch this movie, it's sort of like this, I mean, I don't even want to say it's like a comedy. If you're going to say comedy, maybe dark comedy.
Sort of too, but like the acting too, because they did like little interviews with the characters, and
right.
I think it was sort of dark comedy.
Yeah.
But
it was just really interesting.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, I believe. You should watch I, Tonya if you get the chance. It's good.
We've been enjoying Hulu a lot more. That's good. They have Thundercats on Hulu too.
And then we watched the movie Palm Springs. with Andy Samberg. Which
that was good.
He's always a pleasure. I love Andy Samberg.
What was the other one too we watched with that funny lady and the guy that looks like Tom Hanks' like son?
Lauren. Oh my gosh, she's so funny, and I'm not even gonna remember her last name.
What was that movie called?
I don't know. I know. It's like
this couple who have like a
Lauren Lapkus is the
that her
actress. I'll find the name of the movie. Give me 1 second.
Go right here to movies and TV shows.
Yes, I got it. Thanks.
There you go.
We watched the show the movie Wrong Missy.
She was in Jurassic World. Oh yeah,
The Wrong Missy, which was super funny.
I forgot she was in Jurassic World. Yeah, that was good. That was an Adam Sandler movie, right? Or it was a Happy Madison movie.
Yeah, and then we watched The Unicorn the other day, which was like it
started off a little bit.
It's awkward as shit.
Yeah, like get through the first like 30 minutes because they're like trying to find a threesome and whatever.
It's just an awkward situation no matter like how you slice it.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's a funny movie, so. Yeah.
And it ended up being a really good movie, so.
Yeah. I mean, obviously not for your kids. Don't watch it with your kids, but you know.
All right, parents, you got this. Get through the pandemic. Let's meet at Crater Lake in July of 2021, and we'll have fun. Have some beers.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Have a good one. We are out, and we'll talk to you on the next one.